Hello and welcome from Trey's Gaff once more. We have Nigel and obviously Trey, she lives here, and myself on this dark, dismal, wet, damp November day. But we're smiling, aren't we?
Yes.
It's a lovely day. We talked last time about milestones that Nigel reached throughout his life up to where he's at now, because obviously he's not dead, because that's like talking in the past tense where in his life he's dead now. He's talking about his milestones. And there's quite a number of those which we hope will help other people listening to live your life with a learning disability, because it's not straightforward, and we obviously realise that. And quite often staff that work with people with learning disabilities don't actually take the time to get to know them, what makes them tick, what they actually like, all the rest of it. I don't mean them stupid sheets you used to fill out, Nigel, on the courses where, what's your favourite fruit, Nigel? Oh, banana.
Banana.
That just reminded me of a Charles Dickens thing. Was it Ebenezer Scrooge? That's just come to me now, Ebenezer Scrooge. Things like that. Christmas.
What do you like?
Ebenezer.
A banana.
Yeah, what's your favourite place? Who's your favourite person? Well, it's not you.
It's not you. Who was it?
It's all about choice. Sorry, I digress. And we looked at the different parts of Nigel's journey, which in some cases were problematic, in other cases it was quite good, because Nigel made progression, not on the courses obviously,
No.
but we reached a milestone, Nigel, didn't we?
Yeah.
During one of the sessions, one of the good courses you were on. Do you know what that was? The place we were there for quite a while?
Museum.
Yep.
Helen.
And what was the major occurrence that took place at that point, Nigel, which led to, I think anyway, making you very happy?
Well, meeting Jacqueline.
Yep, and Jacqueline is who? So people know. You're allowed to, there's no confidentiality shit on this podcast.
No, it's one of the girls who were on one of the courses, the course that we were at the museum, and she
How did it evolve, Nigel? Because, you know, did you know Jackie prior to the course that
no, I didn't.
you both attended?
No, didn't know her at all. I didn't have a clue who she was.
So, well, obviously you were a bit like Mark in some respect, because, you know, I could see that Jacqueline was madly in love with you. You're like, yeah, whatever. Remember Mark in the Wigton Market Hall?
I've heard about this.
And Mark's like...
Yeah.
And then the instance in the shop, the health food shop, where we literally pushed him into the shop to have a chat. What happened there?
We left him.
And then we came back, and where was he at?
I can't remember. He was still standing in the shop.
Still in the same place.
Has he moved?
And Elaine, if you're listening now, because Elaine used to look after
Claire.
And Elaine did a very good job. She was one of the better ones, I think. She worked well with people.
Yeah.
And she also worked in the show. Was it Chrysalis, the outfit?
Yeah, I think it's still there, but...
and they ran the health food shop as well, which Claire used to work in, didn't she?
Yeah, I don't know if it's still...
I haven't been through there for ages, Nigel.
Neither have I.
Anyway, we digress, sorry, but this is about Nigel, not about Mark and Claire. It'd be nice to think that that's actually evolved and become something more, but I can't see it somehow. If it's left a mark, it won't come with anything at all.
No.
Hey!
No way!
He was putting an advert in the paper, wasn't he, at one point?
Sorry. Must be able to wash dishes clean.
Looking for a wife.
I'm looking for a
My
wife.
ass.
Looking for a wife. We didn't go that far, did we, Jacqueline?
We didn't, Nigel, no. So, I did notice that there was a kind of thing going on, and you two kind of almost magnetically drawn to each other. Jacqueline was, I would say, of the equal intellect with Nigel, so she's pretty kind of ahead of the game. But there was something about, and she told me sometime after, there was something about Nigel that kind of made her feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah? And one of those things that she said to me was, I always remember this. Oh, it's very manly, you know, Harry. I haven't had one like that before. It's very manly. Oh, I said, exactly what you're on about, for God's sake. I just feel good around. I mean, it makes me feel safe, you know, and it's lovely. Right, okay, Jack, now you've wet them now. You're going to stand over there now.
I just...
Then she come back and she went, what do you tell him? So shortly after...
Like being at school, isn't it?
Send him a note. Walk. Took me years to work out what these things meant when I got Valentine's.
Yeah.
You know, what's the point of putting an acronym on SWALK to someone that you're obviously hot about and they don't have any idea what it is?
I don't even know what that means.
No.
Even in the dictionary I couldn't find
small.
because it wasn't actually a word.
No, it wasn't.
But it's sealed with a loving kiss.
All right, is that what it means?
It meant nothing to me as a youngster. So we digressed.
Again.
I engineered a picture, didn't I?
Yeah, you did that.
Which you've still got, which I think we're going to put into a frame. Did we ever do that, Nigel?
Well, there was one picture I've got, it's not in the frame, it's just kind of a bit tatty.
Yeah, it was the one where you're up against the backdrop.
I think that's the one that's framed, and I think I've got an A4 size as well.
Right, so you've actually got it framed then?
Yeah.
And that's with the backdrop in the museum, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I said to Jack, right, down in the bottom end, so Nigel didn't know, tell you what, Jack, right, how's about you two get together, not like get together, she went, no, we're going to do this slowly, and we'll have a picture taken with you both together. How do you feel? Oh, yeah. So I said to Nigel, is it okay if you and Jack have a picture taken together? And Nigel like, oh, well, yeah. Because I knew Nigel had something for Jack. Because I'd seen his eyes. So I was like, oh, yeah, we'll get kind of close it up here. And they were both standing, and you went to put your arm round her.
Yeah.
I always remember that, and she went, Because she always used to, like that. Ooh, look at me, I'm with Nigel.
Well, it's part. I mean, there's quite a lot of photographs with the Stepping Stone 2 too, because they were the courses, and that photograph's in the collection. Yeah.
And it was a classic because that was pretty much the start of a lovely journey for you two.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And it helped to ease a lot of stuff that was going on for both of you at that time. Not least there was loneliness. Someone to love you, someone to hold you, some sexual contact as well, which a lot of people with LDD don't ever get round to, unless you live in Holland where you go to a lady of the night and do it. Oh God, how clinical is that? Let me finish. That's a great idea. Yeah, they need to have sex, send them to Holland and they can shag over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's really good that, thank you. And how was that for you? I won't tell you the story about Raymond's.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty kind of blue on the air. I think Nigel knows a little bit about the story, but it involves Squirty Crane.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about that as well.
And the special chair, Nigel.
Oh, that special chair, yeah.
What better way to deal with sexual frustration? Give them a chair.
Not both at once.
I mean, it's a world that's still not tapped sufficiently. It's not worked with, and people say, oh, no. So they either go too far that way or not anywhere. So, tell people, Nigel, a little bit about the beginning of your relationship with Jacqueline. Your feelings, your thoughts, the kind of things that took place with you both. How did it unfurl? Do you remember your first time you went out with her? Or where you went to?
I think we went... I think it was... when was it? Yeah, so... Trying to use my brain.
So if you can't remember, don't worry about it now.
I think we went for a meal somewhere. I think.
Was this arranged, or was this something you both decided you'd like to do?
Yeah, we decided to say, look, do you want to go for somewhere to eat somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Do you remember where was that, Nigel? Or was it close by? Was it some local hotel or pub? Or
I think it was one of the little pubs, but I can't remember.
it's okay, you don't have to remember it. I bet Jackie does though.
By Wookitten, I think.
Mm-hmm.
One of the pubs in Wookitten.
Well, George, that was a fairly popular one for people.
I think it was in town.
Weatherspoons, maybe.
I think it was Spoons.
Oh, was it
Well,
Weatherspoon?
yeah,
was it there then?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
it's been there a long time.
Was
It's
it?
Weatherspoons, yeah.
All right.
Very long hour.
So prior to that, had you been out for a meal in a number of years with another people?
No, I didn't.
So this would be like a massive thing for you.
It was, yeah.
Were you nervous at all? Were you anxious about what you did or said with this Velociraptor next to you?
I was a bit nervous. It just went well. It's like, oh, well.
Because this is one feisty red-headed female. She knew what she wanted.
She was,
and she wanted Nigel. She said, it's the only man that's ever turned me on properly. I said, Jacqueline, this is going way too far. But she actually, she had a number of bad experiences, and don't want to go into that.
No, I don't.
But she was treated quite badly, and and she'd kind of lost a lot of confidence and things when I first started working with her. So for this man to come along, this kind of alpha male who treated her with respect and kindness, because you mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
It's very polite, Harry. Mm-hmm. Very polite. I'm not used to that. He says, please and thank you, and ask me how I am, and ooh, I'm used to this.
now.
You still love it. You see, it was out with her hair when she did. Oh.
I know, she did.
And when he's around me, I get this funny feeling, it's like, ooh, do you?
Not like Shed, Jack.
Exactly, yeah. Sure is.
Hey, there's no back doors with that girl.
No,
I'll tell you straight out there. So, you'd gone for the meal. And, when did you first realise you were starting to grow closer and, the word love was coming into it? Because obviously it's dead easy to tell somebody you love them. And that normally means you want to get them into bed later on. And then you forget you've said that, and then it just turns into anything then, really. So how did it work out with you? Was it a genuine feeling when you were with her that you actually wanted to be with her?
Yeah, it was, because people were saying that we were... Because people were saying, well... If we were on our own, where's your friend? Where's your girlfriend? Or your friend? I don't know. And if she was on her own, she was asking where I was. Yeah,
because people, not everyone, because not everyone's that perceptive, but you normally get a sense, and people start to talk.
Yeah.
Quite often, not gossipy, but quite often it's,
The notice.
Yeah.
Well, those two were getting close together. And
and I remember someone coming to me once and saying, Nigel that you work with? I said, yeah. Because I always do that, because I think, why are you coming to me? Why are you coming to me to talk about Nigel? Go to him and talk about that. I'm sorry, I'm not waiting to... no, it's fine, fire away. They seem to get on well together, don't they? I said, yes, it's going well. Yeah, it's lovely. I've really seen that before with people with learning disabilities. They're normally, you probably know yourselves what it's normally like. Stick them two together, off you go to pictures. And I remember saying to them, there's a genuine warmth there between them. And there was.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
And I remember feeling that in the actual museum. It's almost like you were drawn to each other.
We were,
and then when one wasn't there, you were incomplete. Because I remember when, he used to say to me, although in the early days, oh gosh, you again. It was almost like, I'm lost now. And then you started ringing each other.
Yeah, we did.
And Jack would ring you as well, about 23 times. And then there was another milestone, Nigel, wasn't there? Which we engineered during the actual relationship counselling, although I don't like calling it that, where Jacqueline went from her abode to
mine,
yours. Now, that actually became problematical in the early days.
It did, yeah.
Do you want to tell the listeners why it became a little bit of a problem? you lived on your own for a lot of years, and all of a sudden this person that obviously you clearly were close to
coming in
into
my environment, yeah.
Yeah, and taking over.
taking over
That was funny then, actually. Ah, yeah, right on sofa. Right, nice, come on.
Yeah.
I remember one day, so do you think, yeah, Lady Muck?
Yeah.
He keeps buying me chocolate, you know. But you had a way, prior to you becoming unwell now, so you had a very, very, I would say, autistic way of living, and everything was done in order. There were certain ways things were left, all the rest of it. And then Jackie came into the proceeding.
She did, yeah.
So what went wrong, Nigel, do you think? Once Jackie came into your flat, what things happened when she was in there? I don't mean major horrible things, but just the general day-to-day stuff. How did it affect you? I know it affected you, but can you remember?
Not really. No, can't remember.
What about things left, things, you know, not put there, or things were moved? Like with Trey, remember, with the mantelpiece?
Yeah.
There's a couple of times you come to me and said about Jackie, not necessarily, once she went there, just kind of, oh, it's all right, I'm here now. And you weren't too happy about that, were you?
No.
And why was that? Do you remember? Because you weren't able to say to her, Jack, I love you coming here, but I have a certain way of living, and I don't really like that happening, so can we chat about that? And that was one of the ones that we talked about afterwards. And it wasn't Jackie intentionally going in there and disrupting your place at all. But Nigel was used to having stuff in certain places.
Yeah.
And she'd get herself down on the sofa with blanket, remember?
Yeah.
It's funny. One story, I must tell this one. And this is one that I think you'll find quite funny, Nigel, because you'll remember it. I came one day and I said to Jack, Jack, what's going on that windowsill? I've just had an old bloke ringing me up now, saying about you two could walk on the windowsill with no clothes on. Oh, she said, she went, oh, I wish. And then she went, is he?
How'd you look at?
But she became very comfortable, didn't she, Nigel, in your space? And I think eventually you kind of worked around that. We talked about it quite a lot, and you know, like with you when you come here with Trey, with the sofa and stuff like that. You know, it's about working together to make sure that you know, neither ends appearing to pick, but they're being realistic. You know, if you don't put that back there, it actually disrupts how I feel. Yeah. But we got over that. Then we got to the bed, didn't we, Nigel? Massive milestone, Nigel, wasn't it? Which to this day is a sad area for you, because it's no longer the thing that takes place. You know, the closeness, the tactile part, and that's been a massive difficult journey for you. But you've coped, I think, very, very well. But there's the same with Jack at that end as well.
Yeah, it is.
But tell me a little bit about what we did around the bedside about Jacqueline coming there. What was agreed? What did we purchase?
New bed.
New bed, and what reason was there for that new bed?
Oh, so Jack could sleep over.
Yeah, and that was a massive milestone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because sleeping over as a individual with learning disability under jurisdiction of other people is not a straightforward situation.
No.
And it has to be handled with sensitivity, it has to be over time. Did we reach that point where you both spent the night together?
Yeah, it was...
Did you remember it well, Nigel? Is it etched on your memory?
It was arranged. Yeah. I didn't want to say arranged.
It's fine. I mean, we'd have to be arranged now, simply because there was safeguarding going on.
There was, yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously Jack had to be protected and you had to be protected as well, but also as well, so it wouldn't be a bad experience for you both. You know, because that was the worrying part, really. Yeah. Is this going to implode? Is this really what they actually want? You know, we have to take time. I was certain that's what you both wanted. You know, and I've worked with Jackie quite a lot and yourself, so I kind of knew where you were at that time. Do you remember the first night? Because if you don't, I'll tell Jack.
Just tell her.
Jack had it written down. Nigel took his clothes off.
I can't remember.
And I looked.
Didn't find anything.
But was it a positive experience, Nigel? Was it something that that made you feel more complete and
Yeah,
happier?
well, it was. Yeah, I mean, happier. Yeah, I was happier. Yeah.
Did you talk about it, you too? Did you? Were you allowed to have a fag?
What was it? Chocolate? No, it'd be chocolate.
Chocolate, right?
Bar of chocolate after.
So it was a good experience for you both, though, Nigel.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know it was because Jack said to me as well, that she. She feels so like a woman. Very direct that way, She really kind of put it out there. I mean, you found it very difficult to be that way, but she literally spoke for you.
Yeah.
She did. But it was a success. And it carried on, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Now, what about when you left the flat and you went to places? What things did you do?
Went to Speedway. Went on other things. We did other things like go on the bus journey and stuff.
And how was that?
All right.
Did you feel like a real couple? Because, I mean, obviously people still look at you as like these two people learn disabilities. Should be together. Did you feel like a real couple?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And was it something that you didn't think would happen?
No. No, it didn't.
Because Jackie said to me, she's coming a lot, Jack. Do you know something, Harry? I never thought I'd ever have a relationship like this. I said, Jack, you sound like Churchill. Never, ever. We will fight them. Remember that speech before? So that was a massive milestone, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And then, did it continue so? Was there any difficulties in that time, or did it carry on getting stronger? What happened? Did it grow?
Yeah. It did grow, yeah.
And in which ways? I mean, when she wasn't with you, did you feel a little bit lost? Did you miss her? Did you feel, oh God,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know she did because she told me.
I did miss her when she wasn't around.
And do you remember the journey we'd looked at? I mean, we won't get into where it all went wrong because it was quite an awful time that when Jacqueline went to live on her own and the rest is history. It all went wrong. She wasn't supported enough,
No.
And I still feel regret for that because we worked really hard to get you two in a position where you would ultimately spend time together, living together, and that was something that you'd both said you'd like to do.
Certainly, yeah.
Until it went wrong, sadly. So if I mean, Jackie even said to me, maybe one day we'll get married, Harry. I'd like to marry Nigel. Never wanted to marry anybody else before, All right, that's nice. That, and of course that was lovely for me because it was like all that work you've done, all that work you put in there. These two people that were lost at one time have now reached a point where they'd like to spend the rest of the days together.
Yeah.
How lovely is that?
It was lovely, yeah.
So when it went back, the sadness that you obviously felt down Jacqueline as well, was massive.
It was, yeah.
And it's important this because the services should hang their heads in shame because she was never supported sufficiently to live independently and then move on, hopefully transition to living together. And I don't remember the lady's name, but I remember telling her to feck off. She was a total bitch, and she actually said to me, this is true, well, she's tried to live a dream and it's failed, hasn't it? That was the end of it. How cruel and callous is that? That was social services.
It was, yeah.
We all know about my relationship with social services, don't we? It continues to prosper, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
I don't want to dwell on the sadness part, Nigel, but can you tell me what you've learned from that time? And I know you're still with Jack, and I know it's difficult, you can't have the same relationship, but you still love each other. What things have you learned from that as a person living with a learning difficulty, learning disability, that other people could maybe also learn? What have you learned from that?
That two people with disabilities can have a relationship.
And a good one?
Yeah, a good one, yeah.
And what about love?
Yeah, you know each other as well.
I'm going to ask you a question that's going to be quite difficult for you now, Nigel, to explain. It's often asked by people, but it's really, really said a lot and never really thought about. Can you tell me what love felt like with Jacqueline? What does it mean for you with Jacqueline? What kinds of things does love mean to you in relation to Jacqueline? What are the feelings and the thoughts? When you say you love her, what does that mean?
No, can't think.
How do you feel when you think about it?
Good.
Do you feel happy?
Yes, I feel happy.
And is it wanting to be with her?
Yeah.
And do you feel complete when you're with her? And then when you leave her, you're not quite the same person?
No, yeah, that's right. I'm not. Yeah, when I'm complete when I'm with her, but when I leave her, that's.
It's quite a drop, isn't it? Because you said to me before that you kind of go down a bit when you've gone, because you know that you can't get what you had back again.
No.
So, do you think people should be allowed, and I say allowed because, you know, not everybody works with people to get them to that point, to experience that kind of love?
Yeah.
A genuine love?
Yeah, genuine, yeah. Has to be genuine, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a difficult topic, isn't it?
It is.
You know, I remember someone challenging about Raymond hugging people, and I blew this person away because I said, look, that's his way of showing love, compassion, caring.
Yeah.
And to not reciprocate is cruel. Oh, there's boundaries. Sorry, not his, not.
No.
You know, I mean, I remember the first time we ever met Trey.
Yeah.
You know, although it was every female would, you know, he was pretty much on heat. But no, he did care a lot about you, though. You know, that was his way of showing love.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was when I left, wasn't it? He gave us a hug.
Oh yeah, it was you know, really kind of kind and caring, and you know, he showed a lot of love towards other people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that maybe work with them that didn't maybe have love in their lives could experience that with Raymond.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really important that we don't deny people with complex needs the right to experience that in whatever way. Nice thing about Raymond now.
Yeah.
Was this when he gets his leg wrapped around somebody when he's giving him a hug?
No, it's when he used to give it was a hug before he left, and he used to.
Oh, that's right.
It didn't matter if the ladies did it, but when the men did it.
But you know, even if you separate a relationship situation, for instance, if you got people, you know, a few people around you who were able to do that. And show you that just a hug or whatever, that can mean a lot for someone living a life without that love. Because that is a form of love.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately, love's been mixed up with relationships, you know, it's not just about that at all.
No.
When a dog comes up to you and puts his head on your lap, yeah, that's love.
It is,
no back doors, nothing at all, just wants to be with you.
Yeah.
You know? So, I think that's probably a milestone that other people can learn from, Nigel. And, you know, you along with us can explore that more as we go along.
Yeah.
And you know, we'll look at the other side, the downside, which how it's affected you, but we don't dwell on that too much.
No.
So, what do you think is the next milestone, Nigel, to start with in the next podcast? What other big event do you think took place in your life over the past number of years? Anything you can think of? It can be good or bad.
No.
What about the estrangement of friends? As in, suddenly you've got this circle of friends around you, one of them dies, sadly, passed on, and then you end up in a situation where those friends aren't there for you anymore.
Oh yeah.
Is that not a massive milestone in your life?
Yeah.
Because you've had to cope with that, haven't you?
Oh yeah, but
I mean, listeners, you check our blog out because there's loads of stuff on there about the idiots that engineered this situation, and I'm not going to pull any punches. He was cruel. Probably still going on now, but the legacy was awful. And I remember you two going to Raymond's, what we thought was the place for the funeral.
Yeah.
And you were treated quite badly there because the person who was supporting you, well, supporting Mark anyway, was outside texting rather than actually spending time with you two.
Yeah.
And the venue was the wrong place.
Yeah.
So you never even got the chance to say goodbye to Raymond, did you?
Nah.
And then, suddenly, Mark's taken out of your life.
Yeah.
Is that a big milestone in your life, Nigel?
Yeah, it was. What the hell are they doing?
Is it something you had to dig in and try to find a way through it?
I had to find a way through it, and then just say, well...
Trying to accept it. It's not easy though, is it?
No.
I mean, do you remember, before, because we're going to sign off now, do you remember the time when you did bump into Mark for the first time after such a long time? Do you remember the experience?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Bus station. Waiting for the bus to go to see Jack.
And what did you expect and what didn't happen?
Well, I just wanted a couple of answers, but then he just didn't get them.
Did you feel as though you were no longer friends and he was trying to get away from you?
Yeah.
How awful is that? How hurtful is that?
Very.
When you think of the years you spent together.
Very hurtful.
And I still maintain that wasn't Mark's choice.
No.
I'll always maintain that, because you look at the old pictures, you look at all the stuff on the website, the times you spent together, all the laughs, the underpants and the stuff like that. They were genuine friendships that were built up, and they don't just suddenly finish.
No, they don't.
And fortunately, it was engineered, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So that's a big milestone, that. But we'll come back to it. Yeah, in the next podcast. Any thoughts, Trey? Because you've been kind of quiet on this one.
I remember when I first had come to the SS2 sessions, and I quickly picked up about, how you and Jackie were together. Because I remember saying to you, they're in a relationship, aren't they? Because I noticed how you were together. It was lovely. Yeah.
Even the jealousy aspect. Yeah. The old red-haired jealousy from Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Who's this bitch?
I did have one or two problems when I...
Bit of competition.
But I managed to get on with Jackie though.
It was great.
Yeah, I managed to get on with Jackie.
It was, I mean, the times I'll always remember. It's a lovely legacy, isn't it? Even with the dark days,
Yeah.
Any parting shots, Nigel, before we round off?
Can't think of anything.
No?
No?
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
Thank you, folks.